9:31 is your time now. The Food and Drug Administration took a critical step last week in the fight against coronavirus pandemic. In a unanimous vote, the agency recommended booster shots of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for all 15 million Americans who already received that single-dose shot. Emory University's Dr. Neil Winawer joins us live. Good morning to you, Doc. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Portia.
More to sort out here. Always some news on the COVID front, right? So the FDA recommends that Johnson & Johnson vaccine for everyone as opposed to just those at high risk. That's different than what we've seen. Why did they make this sort of open to everyone who's already received it?
Yeah, it's because the J&J vaccine was never really as good as the two-dose Pfizer or Moderna. It still had pretty good protection for severe illness, hospitalization, and death, but it still wasn't as effective. And me and a lot of other people as well thought that this was going to be an eventuality. I wouldn't consider this much of a booster as I would just the second part of the series.
Okay.
But this is always really, I think this was destined to be a two-dose vaccine. And the key thing is having it, the second dose, at least 2 months after your first dose. So, and I think that's most people are going to qualify for that. But you want to wait at least two months. And it shows that the antibody response is robust in those who've received one dose who get it 2 months later, their second dose.
And just to be clear, it's the full dose, right? It's not like a half dose or anything less than what that first dose looked like.
Correct. The Moderna dose is going to be less, but the J&J is just the same dose.
Gotcha. Okay. And the committee also recommended a booster for those originally receiving the Moderna vaccine, but only for those at the highest risk, similar to what we've seen with Pfizer. Explain the difference there.
Yeah, the difference is that the protection for severe illness has always been great with the two-dose vaccine. So we want to roll out boosters for those who are at greatest risk because the antibody titers do decline significantly after 6 months and you're at risk for breakthrough infection, particularly those who are most vulnerable, those who are older, over 65, like we've discussed in the past, and those with comorbidities such as heart disease, lung disease, kidney disease, those who are overweight, those who are immunocompromised or on immunosuppressive drugs. Those individuals are at highest risk, and also those who have an occupation that put them at increased risk as well.
All right. Now, some of those who originally received that J&J vaccine may have some difficulty finding the J&J booster. Is this committee reconsidering recommendations of Pfizer or using Moderna instead? Can you swap out, so to speak?
Yeah, this is a great question. They've been getting a lot of queries about the so-called mix and match, and it looks like data that shows that if you take Moderna or Pfizer after you've received the J&J vaccine, your antibody response is very, very robust, 70 times what it would be before you got it for Moderna, and in the 30s with Pfizer. And actually, that's more robust, actually, than those who've gotten a second J&J vaccine. Now, the thing about it is, though, this is in the lab. This is antibody titers. This is not real-world data in terms of outside does it prevent infections. But looking at the antibody data, it's very suggestive that taking a mRNA vaccine, either Pfizer or Moderna, after the J&J looks like it's going to be quite effective, even maybe more effective than J&J, but we'll have to stay tuned for that definitive information.
All right. Sounds like it's something you're definitely going to be recommending to your patients.
Yeah, I think definitely. I think you have to individualize. What I would tell people, if they can get if they've gotten the J&J already and they have access to the J&J, I would feel comfortable taking the second dose. Those who don't have access to the second dose of J&J or are at different risk, let's say you are a young woman who is worried about blood clotting, then you might talk. I mean, that's a rare side effect anyway, but if your doctor recommends taking the mRNA, I would feel comfortable taking the mRNA. If you're a young man who might be worried about myocarditis, heart inflammation, which is also very rare, you might want to take your second dose of J&J if you've had a first dose. So the bottom line, I would say, is talk to your doctor, And this is why I'm on weekly, right? Because it'll
Because it changes weekly.
It changes, and it could make people's heads spin.
Right.
But if they have any questions, they could always contact me on my Instagram at Neil Winawer, and just stay tuned. But hopefully, this advice was clear.
It was solid, as always, Dr. Winawer. We appreciate it.
Okay, have a great week.
You too. We'll see you next Monday.